ain't drunk, I'm just drinking.
But you're so high.
Oh man, you know I ain't high.
But you're so high.
Yeah, well I just take a little sip every now and then.
But you're so high.
You all ought to be ashamed of
Stay
yourself.
drunk all
Oh,
the
come on now,
time.
you all don't feel like that.
Bam! Hey kids, happy Sunday. Oh my goodness, you can tell it's not 3 o'clock yet. Water. You know, it's funny. Water is the world's largest natural resource, but yet it costs more than gasoline if you count up by the bottle. Anyway, a couple of you guys out there are going to fucking love me after this video. Or you'll just like me more. Anyway, I've had a couple of friends, and actually last week, oddly enough, and maybe the week before, saying, hey, I flashed my ESCs and they went pear-shaped, meaning they lost power during their flashing process or whatever. And then when they try to reconnect through BL Heli Suite, they don't show up. They just show up as blank or, you know, whatever. So the first thing I advise is I say, don't use the Chrome app, download the real BL Heli Suite and see if it'll load that way. Because I have had that work, but it didn't work for anybody. So special shout out, bam, to my brother Primo. And thank you, brother, for fucking up 5 of your ESCs. So he screwed up somehow, or his flight controller, we're not sure, because I was helping him when he did it, so I don't think it was his fault necessarily, but somehow, some way, he melted down 5 ESCs. Now, and I've got another friend out there that has a 4-in-1 ESC. I want to say it's an HDLRC 25 amp. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, he's got an all-in-one. This will work with that too. So you guys that, you know, lose the bootloader, lose the firmware in your ESCs, don't throw that shit away. Bam! Watch this, okay? Let me grab a 4-in-1 ESC real quick. All right. Here's a 4-in-1 ESC. There should be, that's a blown one obviously. There should be pads on this too. If you've got a decent 4-in-1, this one, you might have to go through the other way. We'll come back to this. But there should be 4 pads on there too. Ah well, there's a way to do it with this too. I'll figure that out later. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do the first half of the video out in the garage, bam, and then we're going to go into my office, and I'm going to do show you how to do everything on the computer. You only need to buy 2 things, technically only 1. I buy these are basically Arduino wires, DuPont wires, which do come in handy for this. And you need one of these. This is an Arduino Nano board. They're $5. Go buy one. Even if you're not an Arduino programming guy or anything like that, go buy this shit, because this is how you fix your ESCs. I'll put a link in the description to Banggood where you can get them, and I got mine off Amazon. It was $5. No big deal. Now, open it up. Bam, look at that. That's a beautiful thing right there. So you only need 3 wires, okay? Because you're looking at these rails thinking, fuck me, that's a lot of soldering. Now, what we're gonna do, hopefully y'all can see this. Ground, right there, D2 and D3, bam, that is it. So what we're gonna do, just to save time, I bought 2 of these. One that I'm using that I have all the pins in, and one that I'm gonna do in this video. Because I want to start this thing from total scratch. I want a scratch board, fucked up ESCs. These have not been repaired yet. Actually, I have 3 left of Primos to do. The other one's on a motor somewhere. Bam, there it is. I was testing it. So what we're going to do, if you're only going to use this for ESCs, take these rails and twist off 3. And put them on, if you're holding it to your USBs to the left, I'm sorry, wrong way. USBs to the right, ground D2 and D3. You can do them on the top side, like that, sorry, or you can do it on the bottom. For ease of sake, I'm going to do this bottom side. Then what you want to do, just set it down. We're going to take a little bit of solder. I'll zoom up. I mean, you guys don't need to really see this. This is not fucking rocket science. We're going to solder. Put some pressure on it. Hold your soldering iron to the pin. Let it flow down. Bam, that board is done, son. That's all you need. Those 3 pins, ground, D2, and D3. See how my solder melted around those? Bam, perfect. That's all you need. So, set this aside. Now, your ESCs, check this out. This is where it gets a little scary. I'm going to zoom back out, and I'm going to cut off the heat shrink. Okay? You do not ever need the negative side of your signal wire. Get rid of that, okay? All right, now, in this case of these are the DYS, what the fuck evers, can't remember what they are, DYS 30 amp, blah, 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 BL Hell yes. All 5 that he sent me are fucked up. I tested every one through a flight controller, and trust me, they don't work. So, if you look really carefully, here, you've got ground, pad, pad, pad. You only need ground, pad, pad. Skip the one right next to your ground. Your ESCs might be different, okay? Now, here's the beauty of it. Ground's always going to go to ground, so we know that. And then, what are these? I'll talk about this more on the computer. There's like a G2 and a D2 and a D3 or something. I can't remember now. But even if you're not sure what your ESC is, usually the ground is good. So what we're going to do, meaning you can find the ground. So if you take your meter and put it on continuity test. Let me turn on the fan in here. Fucking hot. See how professional this shit is? Okay. You should be able to go to your ground lead and to that little pad that says ground. Bam! Look at that. So that is a way to find, if your stuff's not labeled, a way that you guys can find out which one's ground. And then usually they're all the same. Skip the one right next to it and then solder wires to the next two. Now, here's where it gets a little scary for some. And I haven't been drinking, so that means I'll fuck this up. I buy these little Arduino wires, and we're going to take a male to female. And I'll put links to these too. You don't have to do it with these guys, but it does make life simple. Those are male to male, male to female. Bam, right there. So if I take, it doesn't matter what colors, these, and I'm going to put solder on the ends of these. Trust me, if you're taking a soldering iron, and most of my friends solder like monkeys throwing poo, if you're trying to solder these wires to those little connections right there, most of my friends are going to fuck that up. So here's a good tip. Watch this. Excuse the mess, I live here. Okay. Here is a wonderful tip. Watch me fuck it up. All right. We're going to take these 3 pins and we're going to put solder on the pins. And try to get, if you can, a little bit of a bubble at the end. Now what we're going to do, we're going to use the pin to apply the solder to the board. Okay? I usually don't do it this way. I actually solder them straight to the board, and I don't fuck around with this. But we're going to give this a shot. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but we're going to give it a dang cord. Okay, so that's as far as I can zoom, guys. So my ground's at the top. I'm going to skip the next pad and do the next 2. Ground, I'm going to try to keep synonymous with black. Ooh, synonymous. Oh, pretty cool word. So, and where you have room, utilize room. What I mean by that, clean off your iron. I can do my grounder outside. Might not work. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. Well, that didn't work. These pads have no flux on them, so I'm actually going to do it the hard way. Hopefully you can see without my head in the way. Ground. Whew. Actually, in theory, we can go ground right to there. I'm not going to fuck with it. So we're going to go pad. Whew. Pad. And it looks like, there we go. All right. So I'm going to put my ground right on this pad. Now, I did not do this before. This is a little bit smarter, maybe. Right to there. Okay. And I'm going to trim these down a bit. I'm going to reapply some solder. You probably can't see this, that's okay. I'll show you in a second. Okay. There. I trimmed those down. So now I'm going to take one of them to here. This does take a steady hand, kids, which I do not have. Sober. Hopefully that's good. Looks like it's going to work. Pretty hokey. You can do it any way you want. Like I said, you don't have to use these pins, these pin headers like I'm doing. You can just, actually the first two ESCs I did for him, I actually did just do the wire. And be very careful with this. Now, what you're going to have to do, I'll show you on the computer. So, we're going to plug this guy in. You're going to need a battery source, preferably like a 3S, because you are going to have to power the ESC. So if you have a power distribution board, you can do that. I'm just going to stick the leads in the battery. And then we're going to go, might as well do it out here, right? Ground, yellow, bam. So in the same order you did them in on here. So we got ground would have been the first pin, yellow. In my case, what is that, red or something? So ground, yellow, red. So that should work. Ground, D2 is the next pin, D3 is the next pin. So ground, skip a pad, D2, D3. Okay, let's go to the pooter, see what happens. Okay, here we go. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to BL Heli Suite and download the real one. Bam, right there. And go to GitHub right here, releases, and download it. I'm not going to show you how to do that. I'll put a link in the description. You guys know how to do that. So go like that. We're going to pull up our BL Heli Suite. Bam, there she is, kids. Now, here's how we do this. You want to take that Arduino board and plug it into your USB right now. Okay? At this point. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into Make Interfaces right here. Okay? We're going to select the board we have, which is this one right here, Nano with Omega 328. Set our baud rate to 57600, which it is. And then down here, four-way interface. It's the only one you get. Hit OK. Then it's going to pull up a file box like this. Pick the Arduino Nano 16. What this is doing is this is going to flash that little Arduino board that you bought with that firmware so it can communicate. So we're going to hit yes. And you're going to see a bunch of stuff here. It's going to say, yes, this is cool. It's working, blah, blah, blah. Fucking A. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, flash successfully. Now, we do have our ESC wired up like you just saw me do in the garage. Everything is copacetic here. Everything's good. Now we're going to go back over to here. SIL Labs ESC. Go up to Select Amtel. Select this one. SIL Labs C2 4-way if interface. Okay? And then we're going to hit make sure you're on the right COM port, kids. Okay, USB serial channel. Hit connect. Woohoo, look at that. Still blank though. Now what we're going to do, bear with me here, I'm going to hook my battery up. Ah, crap. Hang on a second. Let me try it this way. I'm still here. All right. Make sure your baud is, or your COM is correct. Hit connect. There we go. Now I'm going to hook my battery power, your 3S battery, to the ESC. Make sure the light's on. There we go. So I have my 3S in the back. I'm going to hit read setup. Blah, 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 blah. There it is. we've got communication. Now, this one I did already flash. I take that back, but that's okay. We're going to hit flash other. We don't want to do that. We can just hit flash BL Heli, and it should pull up what you've got. 16.6 AH30. Hit yes. Dun, 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 dun. Bam, nothing but a peanut. Look at that. Then, yes, we know. Do you want to write current settings? Yes, we do. That just writes what you have up here. And if you want at this point, you can change stuff just like you normally would if it was on your flight controller, but everything's copacetic now. You can plug this thing into your flight controller and bam, it'll work out just fine. Hang on just a second. Okay, I have actually hooked up another one that is bad. So we're going to walk through these steps one more time. So we're going to go into Make Interfaces, select the board that you have, which is this one. Baud rate's this. Arduino. Yes. Pick the multi. Hit yes. And it should give you all this good writing. Okay. That's it. Go back over to Sil Labs. Go up here to C2 four-way if. Hit connect. Make sure your comm is right. Hit connect. Bam, look at that. Hit read. There we go. That's it. Nothing but a peanut. Okay. 16.67 D-shot command is what is in here right now. We're going to go ahead and hit Flash BL Heli. Put in 16.6 just to make it different. There you go, kids. You're rock and roll. Now, I'm just for fun trying to recreate the error that my buddy had. Let's see if we can get this to work. No, it didn't. It's still good. 16.6. I don't know how he did that. That's okay, but now you guys get the gist. If you've got a totally unreadable ESC, this is how you fix it. And most multi-ESCs will also have those same communication pads on the bottom, most of them. Apparently Racer Star does not, but either way. And there you go. That's all there is to it. If you guys have any questions at all, please give me a shout. Hope this helps you out. Take care. Bye-bye.